I have a bridge to sell you, right? Yeah, come on. I will ship it on a pallet in portions so you can each get your own individual section. What the heck am I talking about? Well, Peterson Games, you may remember them. Well, let's just say pallets. Let's talk. So in case you missed it, Peterson Games, you heard me talk about them previously with the woebegons of their, 7 or so crowdfunding campaigns that are in the process of being fulfilled at this point. When you gifted them your money, because that's what crowdfunding is, right? When all of the stuff goes wrong, there's people in the comment section just there waiting to needle you to say, this was a gift, it's not a pre-order. Anyway, thanks for all the other successful ones. We could ignore those with, and for all the other ones that you never bother to mention that deliver just fine. But we're talking about Peterson Games here. At the end of the month of June, they just announced that, well, you want your product? Well, we have some product this time. Well, we have it, but we can't really ship it to you. We can only ship out 3 pallets worth of games a month. And did I mention there's 90 pallets? I don't need to do the math for you, but I will. That is the big 30 months that it would take to ship all of the games out that they have. Almost 3 years just to ship the games that they already have at this point. Now, that's only if people pay a nominal fee of $10 per game on the pallets, because they've itemized each of the pallets, but they can't actually send you your game if you pay the money, though. You have to pay on the pallet and hope that everyone else on your pallet or some generous benefactor on your pallet pays a significant portion of it, i.e. the average of around $55 more on top of probably the $200 you spent on the pledge, allegedly, at least to get it, as well as the probably, again, roughly estimating $30 you may have spent already on shipping that was supposed to be 2 waves, then was all bundled together, and now is going to be this on top of that. They sent out emails telling you what pallet you were on, right? So just tons and tons of emails, and people are like, well, I'm pallet 84, so, I'm screwed. See you later. See you in 4 years, maybe, right? So for a $200 pledge, you could easily be in for over $300 now. And what, 3 or 4 years late? How does that sound right now? Madoff, anyone? Bernie? No, we won't go that far. But, holy crap, Batman. And, did you hear the news? When they were putting some of this stuff out, they also exposed a whole bunch of people's contact information. Inadvertently, just a whole bunch of the backers' contact information in the first place. Per the Board Game Geek forums, people who looked at this in depth, I, caught it cursory, 411 names, information including name, phone number, email, and address. I mean, okay, a lot of that you've submitted elsewhere. A lot of that you can probably find that's, out there. But either way, even if that information is already available, that's not stuff that should be leaked, because if that's going to get leaked, if your process is going to leak something like that, what's to say next isn't something more pertinent, like a credit card number, right? That's the issue here. Not just that your name got leaked with your address, right? You can Google that. Hello, it's called the Yellow Pages. I'm old enough to remember, right? Now, going back over, though, to the pallet shipping, right? If you want to cut the line completely, they say, and I just have to pull this one up just so you can literally see me read it, right? You'll want to get your pallet fully funded. Any pallet that reflects that will go as soon as they have the bandwidth to send it. We've had one backer offer $1,000. Right? Yeah. Okay. How many people are doing that? And how likely do you believe that a person offered $1,000 for that? Although, knowing the people that went in for the cash on this thing, it wouldn't surprise me. At the same time, Why would you throw that in there? That's just like dumping fuel on the fire, going back to the beginning, right? I have a bridge to sell you. Huh? 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 I'll ship it to you in pallets. If you want your section of the bridge sooner, pay me more. Now, the other weird thing about this, if you didn't catch that when I was reading from the line above it, is a few paragraphs below. It actually goes further and says, all money collected in this format will only be going to the shipping of those specific pallets, which is going to be very interesting, right? You've got a company who has clearly had some issues managing funds in the first place, who's saying, don't worry, we'll keep this money in separate buckets. Money for pallet 14 won't be used for shipping for pallet 8. Really? Really? Is it going to be used anywhere else, though? Because that's the concern. And let's say pallet 84 hits, just under the threshold. Is there going to be some temptation there to ship one of the other ones out sooner? To cover some expenses of one of the other production lines of all the other crowdfunding campaigns that I mentioned previously that are still waiting on stuff? Again, not because I think it's going to happen, but remember that video? The implication? Mismanaged funds once, fool me, shame on me. Mismanaged funds twice, shame on you. So, man, just gets crazier. Crazier, I tell you. Speaking of crazy, though, what's going on with Onimaru? Well, in case you haven't been keeping up with my Onimaru saga, because whenever I do one of these Kickstarter fail videos, crowdfunding issue videos, right, I have to talk about the standard bearer, Onimaru, from Penguin and Panda Productions. It has been, exactly, at the time of me filming this, 1,615 days since their crowdfunding debacle ended. And to be fair, I shouldn't call it that because it wasn't a debacle when it actually ended. It's just been a debacle, well, ever since then. However, they put out an update on the Kickstarter page at the beginning of last month with some maybe-ish productions, sort of, kind of. We got a bunch of stuff. Here's a bunch of images, and here's a bunch of the issues that go along with them, and we circled them, and you can see them on the pictures and stuff, and there you go, blah, 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 blah. However, long, drudgerous process for who? Anyway, decent assumption that they'll get stuff going and they could hit the water by July. No. I call total bullsharky right there, right? If you're still sending images and pictures and comments back and forth with Longpack, there is no way that they're going to hit the water at the time of me effing filming this. Right? No. I hate that BS. Yeah, right? You're assuming that you're going to get all the stuff shipped back and forth several times within a month's span when it's already been how long of you doing this? Then they're going to produce all of the stuff. Then they're going to load all the stuff in 4 weeks from the time of this previously being updated. What are you smoking, man? Hopium? I mean, I'm used to smoking hopium, as a Detroit Lions fan, but WTF? Granted, this is much farther along than it has been to this point, regardless, but still. I mean, that's just not feasible. Speaking about the commonalities between these two projects right now. I just want honesty. I tell my kids this, right? And I legit mean this when I talk to my kids. And I'm going to say it here the same way, like I'm talking to children. Give me the truth. It may be painful at first. You may have people upset with you, but I guarantee it's going to go over better than the lead balloons that you're putting out right now with these situations of, maybe it'll be in July. No. I do not want false estimates. I do not want partial white lies. I want more clarity, even if it's bad. It's not always the problems that get you in trouble, right? It's the forking cover-ups. That's it. That's what we're talking about today. I mean, we always talk about Kickstarter with some of these big companies being pre-orders. Every time, people in the comment section, going to the opposite of what I said earlier. I go, well, it's a pre-order store. You're just giving them funds so that they can pre-order. Yeah, most of the time you are. At the same time, you never take it for granted. The second you do, you get lackadaisical. The second my kids take something for granted, they get themselves hurt because they're doing something stupid that they shouldn't have. And if they would have been paying attention, they wouldn't have gotten into the first place. Same thing here. Only instead of my kids and physical injury, we're talking about your wallet, your pride, your ego, and just a little bit of that hurts. So don't let yourself get into that situation. Everything you're putting out in crowdfunding, my basic, most important piece of advice, be prepared to lose it. Can you afford to lose it? If it's lost, are you okay with that? If it's lost, can you make peace with that? And if you can't, maybe you shouldn't be doing crowdfunding. Again, nothing against it. I've said numerous times over the last couple of months, especially, you can support stores and publishers. I've said this numerous times over the past couple of months as well. You can support publishers at retail, folks. It's okay. Don't FOMO. That's all I got. Have a great freaking fantastic day. Rant, ramble over, stay classy. See you around. Old man yelling at the clouds again. I love doing these videos. They're the best. They are the most fun of all of the videos I do. I kid you not. Get ramped up, adrenaline pumping, vein pounding every time. I can do the rock eyebrow. Did you know that?